Hello and welcome to our second day of the 2022 ASU+GSV Summit. Good morning. I hope everyone had a wonderful night. I know a bunch of people live in San Diego were all super happy to have reunions. I think we had karaoke going in the marketplace here from way past midnight. So excited for another jam-packed day of content. We're so glad you all can join us virtually for another day of thought-provoking discussions around the theme Ed on the Edge. I introduced myself yesterday, but I'm Claire Zhao, your virtual host. I'm an investor on the GSV Ventures team and a program lead for the ASU+GSV Summit. So this program is truly near and dear to me. Over the next 3 days, we'll imagine a new era, one in which all people will have equal access to the future. This year's theme, Ed on the Edge, speaks to this. In one sense, we celebrate a sector that is finally receiving adequate capital in 2021 with over $20 billion in venture and growth capital coming into the space, which is up threefold from 2019. There is so much cutting-edge excitement around new technologies from Web3 to AI to VR, AR. And we can only assume that this new capital will drive more skilled innovation so that all people can have equal access to the future. On the flip side, we know that the climb to achieving equality has only gotten steeper. This pandemic has unfortunately widened achievement gaps and skills gaps, especially amongst the world's most vulnerable populations. Other crises, such as the youth mental health crisis, rising refugee states, and climate change are causing additional frictions. So to set some context for those of you who may be attending for the first time, this annual summit began in 2010 with a collaboration between Arizona State University and Global Silicon Valley in a tiny conference room with about 300 attendees and about 50 or so ed tech companies represented. But fast forward to today, after a virtual summit in 2020 and a hybrid summit in 2021, we are back for ASU+GSV Summit 13.0 with over 5,600 attendees live. 800 plus EdTech CEOs, and many more of you tuning in virtually. At the ASU+GSV Summit, our purpose is to convene the best and brightest minds in global learning and workforce skills to catalyze action and transformation. Each year, we connect leading minds focused on transforming society and business around learning and work. So we're so excited to have you all again for the second day. Throughout the few sessions, I'll be checking in between sessions, keeping you informed, and conducting interviews with speakers and sponsors, giving you a little sneak peek of all the live action activity here in San Diego. Don't forget to get involved from home by using the platform's chat feature and connecting with us on social. Please feel free to tag us at #ASU+GSV Summit and find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Let us know in the chat what innovation and education you're personally most excited for or personally working on. It's honestly so amazing getting to hear the breadth and the diversity of experience across our audiences. So add it to the chat, we'll give you a quick shout out. So to get to today's program, we have an awesome day ahead of us. In just a few moments, we'll head to Stage X to hear from some of the brightest minds in our field. We'll have a very special one-of-kind rap from Ike Ramos, who was not only an all-star educator, but ed tech leader at Flocabulary and Nearpod, as well as a hip-hop artist. And he's written a piece just for our audience at this summit, themed around Ed on the Edge as well. We'll have Arizona State University's President Crow, who will speak with New York Times journalist Tom Friedman on the evolving role of higher education in an increasingly complex and ever-changing knowledge landscape. Then we'll have Margaret Kondracki, co-founder, and Stephen Kramer, CEO of Bright Horizons, who will take the stage to share how companies that invest in education both for their workers and children will not only win the talent war, but will take the whole game. Then we'll have Gerald Chertavian, CEO of Europe, who will tackle America's talent crisis and how we build an opportunity movement. And finally, we'll close with Linda Darling-Hammond, who is the state board president in California and leader from Learning Policy Institute. So there's so much program. Please stay tuned. At lunch on Stage X, we've got more intriguing discussions for you, including a talk by New York Times columnist Tom Friedman, as well as ECMC Group President Jeremy Wheaton, on the current post-secondary education and training environment and how it needs to evolve to meet the current needs of the student, the employer, and the economy at large. We'll have Stedman Graham on identity leadership, and a panel of HBCU leaders from Morehouse, Paul Quinn, and Dillard discussing new models that HBCUs have implemented to scale student success. And finally, to close off, we'll have Tulane Montgomery from New Profit on the power of proximity. This evening on Stage X, get ready for the GSV Cup, a global pitch competition for edtech startups for a chance to win up to $1 million in cash and credit prizes. We've had over 800 plus startups who have been judged by different VCs globally, and the top 20 companies of the competition will compete in front of a live audience and panel of judges tonight, and the top 3 will be showcased on the closing ceremony on Wednesday. But a special fact, in fact, you guys can also be a judge with live audience voting both tonight and tomorrow night as well. In between pitches, we'll hear from Forward Party's founder, Andrew Yang, as well. So that's what we've got going on Stage X, but I also want to highlight all the amazing content that we'll have on our Spotlight channels as well. We've got many thought-provoking sessions to choose from, everything from putting students first with Paul LeBlanc and Stig Leshley coming up after Stage X, to a session around the future of teachers and teaching at 11, to themes around metaverse and gaming, as well as a session around mobilizing the education sector for climate action. So head to the agenda to find out more. Between sessions, please be sure to visit the virtual sponsor booths to connect with our 2022 partners. And now, I know you all are super excited. Without further ado, let's head to Stage X for this morning's program.